There's different ways, right, of how someone does a podcast. There's the route of having a guest on, or there's the solo episodes where the podcast host will just speak on a specific topic. Do you find pros and cons on any of those, or is it just to the podcaster, whatever works for them?
I think it's really kind of I recommend both. I love both. Like I love when people do solo shows. I listen to podcast hosts in people's podcasts because of the host. I don't listen to them because of the guests, because the guests are there and then they're gone. They're here for 30. I'm going to be on your show for 30 minutes and then I'm gone. But your audience keeps coming back because of you. And so I think it's really good practice to, if you really enjoy interviewing and that's really what your show's all about, then great. But every once in a while, put out a little micro episode, 4 or 5 minutes. Just, hey guys, just looking forward to doing the next 50 episodes or whatever. Really appreciate you supporting us, and just have that communication with your audience because they're coming back for you every time. And so the strategies doesn't really matter. I love podcasting. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. There's no rules. So if I want to do 15 interviews in a row and then I want to do 15 solo podcasts in a row, I don't think it really matters. Like, I don't think people are going, oh man, why is he not interviewing? As long as you're bringing good quality content consistently, then people are going to show up and listen to you.
Let's talk about podcasting strategies and hacks. You talked about micro episodes, which could be 5-6 minutes. My claim and my tagline is you have a 360-degree view of business in under 30 minutes. My podcasts have ranged between 12 minutes to 25 minutes. And, I'm a big fan of listening to shorter episodes. Is there a formula out there that you think works best when it comes to podcasting? Or is it just, it's still too new to figure out what is the best strategy?
I mean, I think you're right. You got people like Joe Rogan who are like 3-4 hours, whatever. And then you have people like me who I'm, probably 13 minutes is maybe the longest podcast I've recorded, maybe 20 minutes. Once again, I don't think there's any rules to this. Like, I think as long as the content is good, like that's what you want. So say what you got to say and be done. And a lot of times, if you're like me, I get a little scatterbrained, a little squirrely. And so I'm talking way too much, and I love to talk. Obviously, I'm a podcast guy, love it. But I think like get in there, say what you need to say, and leave your audience wanting more than them wanting less. I'm always a less is more kind of guy. And so we've all listened to this podcast where we're like, man, I just wish this guy would keep talking. And then we've also listened to those ones like, okay, what did this guy, like he could have said that in 5 minutes. It took him 25 minutes. So find your groove, find who you are, and rock and roll, man. Like, who cares? Do a 2-minute episode if that's what it takes, or do 25 hours. I don't care, whatever it takes to get your point across.
Is there a best time to post, meaning a specific day of the week that is the ideal time to post?
Not that I have really messed with, man. I'm not really, I'm not super focused on like analytics and all that kind of stuff. I'm really focused on bringing value to my audience. And so I post on my platform at like 3 a.m. on Monday morning, just because I want it to be syndicated out by the time everybody wakes up on the East Coast. So that's kind of my strategy. And I don't even know why I did that. I think I just picked a day. Like, so one podcast, my personal podcast is Monday morning. Well, my fishing podcast is Tuesday morning. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's really just about building that audience. And I'm sure there's some gurus in the marketing space that are like, no, you're wrong. Like, you should do this, this, and this. I haven't really seen it, and I have tried it. I have posted different times of the week, different days, and I haven't really seen like a big spike. I mean, yeah, not that I can think of. It's all pretty consistent.
Is distributing your podcast weekly advisable, or does it not matter? Some people can do 2-3 weeks in a row and then take a 3-month break and then they come back. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my advice is like, whatever commitment that you make to your audience, be sure to do that. So if you show up and you're like, I'm starting this podcast, I'm gonna be here every day, 7 days a week, and then you're there 7 days the first week, 4 days the next week, like, you're not going to build consistency if your audience is expecting you to be there 7 days a week. So do whatever your frequency is. I know people who run podcasts every week. Like, I'm every week, I want to be there. I would be there more. Like, I love podcasting. So I'd be there, 2 times a week if I could, if I had the time frame and the capacity to do it. But then I know a lady who runs once a month and has a phenomenal podcast. I have another friend of mine who does 8 episodes a season, and then he takes 2 months off and then does two, and he has a phenomenal audience. But the thing is, it's always just communicating to your audience. And we've all been there, like TV shows or YouTube videos or whatever. Especially TV shows. I'm a binge TV show watcher, and I love when I know like this show's coming on, I can put it on my calendar, I can plan for it, and I can sit down and watch it. But if I sit down and that show's not on there and we got some kind of interruption from the news station, I'm just ticked off, dude. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, we consume content the same way. It's video, audio, all that kind of stuff. It's like set the expectation and show up, because it's your audience, man. It's your tribe. So do what you say you're going to do.